'Twas a month before Christmas when all through the town the weather was cold, all the leaves had turned brown. The wreaths were all hung on the light poles with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children had gathered around this year's tree, wearing warm coats and mittens, their breath you could see. Their moms and their dads and their grandparents too had all come downtown for this holiday view. When way off in the distance there rose such a clatter, I looked down the street to see what was the matter. A parade filled with lights headed right toward downtown, and I saw lots of smiles, but nary a frown. The moon up above shed its light really bright, so it looked more like day than a cold winter's night. The family Seaver from PSC Crane were this year's Grand Marshals, no need to explain. And there on the stage stood the Dick family proudly, while the throng in the street cheered their Christmas tree loudly. Good prompt. The Christmas parade at the end had a truck, and it moved rather slowly. I thought it was stuck. But as soon as I looked closer, I clearly could see that it was indeed moving directly towards me. I wondered, I pondered, and then shook my head. Just who was arriving in this truck so red? As traffic that snarled sometimes stops at the square, and the horns blow, the lights flash, and tempers can flare. So right by our main stage this fire truck came, with the driver so careful that I had to exclaim, "Who are you? And why are you driving so slow? And who's that man shouting, ho, 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 ho?" As I stopped for a breath, as befits someone my age, I blinked, and that fire truck drove right by the stage. So I thanked everyone for their parts in this fest, noting once more that this year was the best. Then right up the steps came that guy from the truck in his red suit and black boots. What a stroke of good luck. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. He held out his iPhone up close to his face, and he smiled as he nodded and said, "This is the place." He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He walked up to the stage where he helped light the tree. Then the wreck down the street was the place he would be. He passed out candy canes till his bag was quite flat. Then he stood, smiled at us, smoothed his suit, and donned his hat. He got back on that fire truck and strapped himself in, and he left our town square with a chuckle and grin. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
I'm dreaming tonight of a place I love even more than I usually do. And although I know it's a long road back, I promise you I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents all
At this time, I'd like to introduce Catherine Hayes.
Hello. Thank you for choosing to spend your holiday kickoff right here in downtown Troy. If you don't know, Troy Main Street brings wonderful events like this to downtown Troy all year long, and we also help people's storefronts full of great businesses. So once again, thank you for spending your holiday down here in downtown Troy. We would like to go ahead and recognize the Grand Marshal of this year's parade. So if we could have the Seaver family come to the stage to receive their plaque. They are the leaders of this year's parade, and they are from PSC Crane and Rigging.
To be a part of this. Troy's been very nice to us. Since the early 1920s,
Thank you for leading our parade.
Now I'd like to introduce to you those who donated the Christmas tree for this year. Don't leave us, we need you. Stay around here. John and Melissa Dick, would you come forward, please? John and Melissa Dick. Now, I want everybody to come up here. Where is John and Melissa Dick? Come here. John, Melissa, that's a beautiful Christmas tree. We're just seconds away from lighting, and we want you to stay here, help us with the countdown. I have a plaque here. It says 2014 Hometown Holiday Celebration. The tree donated this year by John and Melissa Dick. We'd like to present you this small token of appreciation as you grace our beautiful downtown with your tree. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding, 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 this is done. Ding, 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 this is done. On descend, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is their song. Take joyful ring, long caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding, 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 this is done. Ding, 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 this is done. On we send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. On we send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe helps to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa is on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times,